Hey, good afternoon everybody, it's Farhana and I'm just here outside in my neighborhood enjoying some sun, but it's actually pretty warm out here, so hopefully this video won't get too long. Today I wanted to talk to you all about the mask we live in. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I feel like so many of us at some point in our lives find ourselves really living a life that is not authentic. We're so far from our true authentic self that we in essence don't even know who that authentic self is. And so when we ask that question, who are you, or who is the authentic version of you, we really have a hard time even coming to terms with what the answer to that question is. I know that in my life I've really struggled in the past with trying to unfold who I authentically am, because I think that for a really long part of my life I was so busy trying to be a person that somebody else was wanting me to be, and in trying to be that person I really had lost myself and my ability to recognize who I was for me. And I think that so often we're asked in our lives as we're growing up, you know, who are you? And we tend to say that, you know, we tend to give either our parents' name or our sister's name, and we attach ourselves to the relationships that we have in this world with the people that we have those relationships with. And so, you know, you're either so-and-so's daughter or so-and-so's sister. Eventually, as you grow up, you become so-and-so's wife or so-and-so's husband. And again, we define ourselves as being an extension of another person or in a relationship with that person, and we label ourselves as that. And I have a huge problem with that, because we really truly never then are able to identify who we truly are or how we identify with ourselves. And so I call this video The Mask You Live In, because really if we were to take off that mask, who are we in essence? And a lot of times those roles that we are attaching ourselves with, those labels that we're attaching ourselves with, the identity that we're attaching ourselves with, are really just in essence a mask where we're hiding who we are in the inside. And so that comes along with a lot of I think hiding of that authentic self. And when we hide our authentic self, it really makes me wonder why we're doing so. Is that because we are fearing who we authentically are? Are we not had an opportunity to come to terms with who we are? Are we judging who we are? Do we perhaps not know who we are? Or are we simply, like I said earlier, trying to be somebody who somebody else is wanting? And when that happens, when we do hide from the true, real, authentic self, how does that really make us feel? In my personal opinion and in my experience, I have found that the more I try to cater to who somebody else wanted me to be, the more I try to cater to somebody else's expectations of who I was meant to be or the way I was supposed to act, or do things the way somebody else wanted me to do, eventually I became very, very resentful of that person and of the situation that I'd found myself caught up in. And I can't say that anybody is to blame for that except myself, because when we do decide that we are going to play into the roles of somebody else's expectations of who we should be and what we should do, it's really our consent into that role. And so I began to resent myself a lot, because I never gave myself the opportunity to find out who I wanted to be for me and not for somebody else. And so the mask that we live in is really a concept that I think that we really need to think about and ask ourselves whether the person that we are trying to be in our life, is that somebody we're trying to be for our highest good, or is it benefiting somebody else? And I think that's something that we all need to think about. And so that's a question I want to pose to you. Are you living in a mask? And if you are, then is it serving your highest purpose? And if it's not, then perhaps it's time to take off that mask and align yourself with your authentic self, and start really trying to understand who you authentically are, because you are authentically beautiful and you are the person that you are meant to be here and right now. And so I hope that you'll take a moment to just embrace that and to love yourself for who you are in this present moment. I'm sending much love and light to all of you. Please share your comments and your love, and don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do that, because I will be sharing a lot more content in the near future. Take care, and love and light to all.